Hey there, welcome to the table. Let's get ready to play this game, and I'm going to try to teach it as I go, and we'll go over some basic concepts. I've never played this game before, so I've been obviously familiar with the rules to a level that I felt like I can play, but we're going to bumble and stumble at times, but I think, it's a pretty straightforward game. So the first thing you got to do when you're playing Tabletop Simulator, change your color to black so you're the game master. Now you can see all the hidden information. We're going to not try to peek at the different cards. We're going to apply schizophrenic AI because we're playing schizophrenically here, or play in all sides, as some people like to call it. Egypt is going to. So every civilization has the only thing that's unique about them, and I don't want to say only because these are what makes the game cool. But Egypt has these four special abilities, of which these two cubes represent. You can only activate two of them in any given game. So of these four abilities, you can activate two of them. They're free actions. You can do it at any time, and then you get whatever the action says. So the first thing in the iconography to understand is this is a cost. That's a food symbol. This is a science symbol. That's a production symbol. And then this is production, food, science. Obviously, this is a spot for your cube to represent that you used it. These three are available Epoch 1. I have to wait until the third Epoch to use this one. So this is more of an endgame one. And the exclamation means immediately. So immediately, you're going to gain every resource in the game, and you're going to gain one culture. The culture track is here. Culture is raw victory points. So as you go up culture, you're gaining victory points straight up. Now, culture has several other impacts to the game. We start off as these are all the governments in the game, and you start off as a chiefdom. In order to progress to see these little arrows, you can progress to a democracy, a monarchy, or a republic. You need to have two culture. That's a prerequisite to be able to move this up, and that's what this action here is. These are your actions in the game. This one lets you move up your with your culture. The other thing that culture does in the game is at the end of an epoch, you're going to gain art. So you're going to gain, great works of art, and it's going to be according to the rank on the culture track. And the top three in a four-player game are going to get art. So one player is not. But then when you go to Epoch 2 and Epoch 3, it gets tighter. And then the other thing to understand is that when you move up the culture track, whoever was there first actually has, like, you need to make sure you stagger them because blue is ahead of green, even though they're both at 2, if blue got there first. So that's something to understand. So that's how the culture track blends into the game. When you're doing science research, this is how much you spend, and then you either get this left side or this right side. You pick the bonus, and then after you pick it, this moves up, and now the next player can spend one and get the left or the right, and it moves up. Now the next player has to spend two, and then so that's how it keeps going up the track. Eventually, it caps out here, and then for the rest of the game, you're spending 7 to get 4 culture. Okay. Another concept in the game, I understand like there's a lot of stuff here. The Egyptians have the gift of the Nile, where they're going to gain gold. Gold are wild. They count as any resource. And gold is the only resource that carries over into the next epoch. Unless you have some special ability that lets you do that. All your resources at the end of the epoch get converted at a 3-to-1. And so that's something to keep in mind. But before that happens, you have to pay food for upkeep for all your cities. And of course, we don't have any cities yet, but hopefully we will. Cities are worth 4 victory points at the end of the game. They're a lot of victory points. And I don't know if they have a point salad table here. It's in the rule book. We'll have to look it up. But all the victory points are actually listed right here. So your culture is going to get you a point. Your I always forget what that symbol is. It's a picture of your honor. That's right. Your honor tokens. Those. Those are victory points. One each. Um, one land cube. Every cube you have land on, um, every land that you have a cube on is a victory point. Your cities are worth 4. Every 2 gold is 1. And then you get victory points. Any ability that has an hourglass symbol, those are endgame scoring conditions. And then your art. It's almost like a. It's not a set collection because there's no sets, but you collect art, and the more art you have, the more points you get at the end of the game. And of course, the most VPs wins the game. And the culture breaks ties. And remember, there's always a tie break with the culture. Even if you're tied on the culture, there's still a clear winner. So there will not be any ties in this game, mister. All right. They got some FAQs which are interesting, but anyways, I leave it here because these are all the symbologies. Um, we can go from there. So the big thing with Egypt is they get gold for every desert location that they have presence on, and they also get advantage when they do battles in the desert. So they're a very, they could be a very desert-oriented civilization. Now remember, you only have 2 of these cubes. We could just choose any of these other 3, and ignore this one. So you don't have to go desert with Egypt. It just there's definitely an incentive. Now, one thing, I looked at the cards here. There's nothing here that benefits you in the desert. So that's unfortunate. The other thing is these cards are also available for us to use, and none of these benefit you if you're in the desert either. So it's still pretty powerful. Like when I see the Egypt thing, the desert thing, like out of all their abilities, that one looks like it's really, really good. And this one also looks good. You immediately gain an art. Remember, you score a lot of points for art. And then you get an additional 1 point for every 2 art, in addition to whatever the end game scoring was. Now, why does that one attract me? Well, it attracts me because the playstyle for Egypt that we're going to adopt is they're going to be the goody two shoes, the good nicks. They're not going to try to go to war with anybody. I know that's, you know, Egyptians are saying, huh? They went to war all the time. But they're not going to go to war. They're going to try to be the advanced civilization, you know, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to go for really high culture score and try to be get the art and basically be the culture champion of the game. Egypt's going woke. So that's what we're going to try to do. And I don't think they necessarily have the best cards to help them get there. But, you know, we'll deal with it. Alright, so what do you do on your turn? The first thing you do is you draw a level 2 Epoch card. So, oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to shuffle. So we're going to draw one of these cards, and it goes into your hand. Now, remember, you're only able to play the Epoch 1 cards, but this is a cool mechanic in this game. You actually drew your first of 6 cards that you're going to have in the next Epoch. So you get to see right now that's steel. So they got this steel card that's going to let them, you know, gain science, and if you have iron and all this other stuff, you get these bonuses. Okay, so so that's a little sneak peek into in the next epoch. So you can like plan. I really love that. I mean, most games you don't get your cards for the next era until it's the next era, right? Here you're starting to see them. They're trickling in. So you can use that to plan. Like you could say, okay, this says if you have iron, this one is if you have iron. You could see some synergies, and maybe in the first era, we try to do some iron synergies, right? That's possible. So we draw a card, which we have to draw a market card now. So those cards are here, and it's going to be either a wonder or a military, and it's a camel archer, so that goes there. So the way these cards work is there's an action in the game to build a wonder, and there's also a different action to upgrade your military. The military right now is an axeman, and he has a combat strength of 1. This little flag means he's your primary military. Your military, you can have 2, at most 2. You can have a flag, like here, and you can have the bullseye. So it's okay for you to have both of these, and if you did, your total military strength would be 4. This is an upkeep cost of 1 production. This is an upkeep cost of free. So if you have both of these in your army, you have to pay this upkeep cost to be able to use both. If you fail to pay this one's not active either. So there's no such thing as I'm just going to do half. Now, there's many of them. There's one for each player. So basically, these are always available to all players for the first epoch. These are random, and then as this fills up, if another one were to come in, the top one's going to disappear. Same for the wonders. Once we get the 5th wonder here, the terracotta army is going to disappear. Okay. All right. So now you may notice this symbol here. These are formations, and if you have an army that's you have your 2 armies and they both match in formation type, like this looks like a wedge, that looks like a line formation. You get a +1 to your military strength. So this, instead of this being 4 military strength, it would actually be 5, if they had matching formations. Right now, it's impossible. There's nobody with matching formations. The war elephant and the camel archer get bonuses in certain terrains. So they get a +1 bonus when doing combat in the desert, and then they also get a +1 bonus when attacking a city. They get basically they're an anti-cavalry, so almost like pikeman concept. So they get a bonus against cavalry if they're fighting them, and then the camel archers are considered a cavalry. So they get bonuses against horsemen, and these guys are horsemen. So that's what that means, and of course that's the formation. This is simply saying that they cannot attack mountains. So the mountain terrain is off limit for them. If you were to attack the mountains, you just don't get to use these guys. If you had another army, you get to use that. And of course they have upkeep. And then the other thing is this is the cost to obtain them. So this would take 2 science to get this war elephant. This is 2 science, and you have to also have a cube in the desert, a presence, like a territory, in order to take the camel archers. Okay, so I like the desert theme. Let's try it. I also like the iron theme, so let's look at our board. We drew the market card, and now we get to reveal a tile. And then after that, we do our action step. So there's 2 sets of deserts. There's this set and then this set. This has a mystery bonus. We don't know what it is. It's going to be good, but it could be okay good or really good. It all depends. And like, what could they be? Good question. So like that one is the trophy symbol. You get that's a minor luxury, so it provides 1. That one is immediately gain a gold, gain 2 food. So you can see there's some resource ones, right? So just randomly picking some of these. I'm going to shuffle them up again. So it's going to be something like that. These tiles are guaranteed to have a strategic resource on them. So they're very valuable from that perspective. I sort of like the idea of this being, an iron, right? So they get bonuses with iron. Iron's only ever going to be in the mountains. And then they can do desert, like they can expand this way, right? I like that idea. I also like the idea of, hey, they could, this could be an iron here, and there's some desert. Or you just take the stance of, hey, we're going to lock in on desert, and let's draw one of these tiles, see if we get more desert, to connect to it. It's hard to say. The one thing I find interesting is there's only 3 of these bonus tiles that have guaranteed bonus resources on them. Um, that's interesting. I I think I'm torn. So I think one of my things is I want to go in the desert, but on the same token, I want an iron. So I would think that I want to go here and then expand this way. Um, so then I'm either looking at revealing something like this, because I know I'm going to get my resource, right? I don't need to reveal one of these. There's one right here. Or I can take the chance that that has an iron, and then start here on this desert, and then maybe there's some desert underneath that. There's no guarantee there's going to be desert underneath it. It's a tough choice, to be honest. I do like the fact that, and again, I'm being influenced by my cards. I have an iron thing here. And what does this do? If you have iron, you get to upgrade your military for a 1 science reduction. And then another thing I didn't point out is, let's say you started the game or you got the spearman. It's going to cost you 1 science, and then later you want to upgrade him to the war elephant, because remember the flag, right? Flag to flag. You do not have to pay 2 science for the war elephant anymore, since you're replacing somebody who cost 1. You just have to pay the difference. And so if you have to pay the difference and then you further get a -1 discount because you have iron, that could be really beneficial. Now, granted, this is Epoch 2. That's much later in the game. But here, if you have iron, you're just going to straight up get 2 science and 2. I mean, it's just going to give you a bunch of resources for having iron. And so, I really like the iron working for that reason. Now, I can't start the game with iron working because I don't have iron yet. So if I play this card before I have iron, this is going to trigger immediately and I get nothing. So I got to save this for later. Now, I don't remember if I explained this yet, but you have 6 actions in this epoch. 3 of those actions have to go here as an inventions, and I can invent any of these, or I can swap a card. I can take one of these cards and swap it with any of these cards, and then invent one of these cards. So all these cards are publicly available for me to invent, as well as these. No matter what, I'm spending a card. That's always guaranteed. So if I go here, I'm going to get 1 action. And the actions are here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 actions, right? So if I do my invention, I'm going to get this resource here, and so does the player to my left. I'm going to get whatever it says here, which could be a ongoing effect like this one, or an immediate effect like this one, but there's no ongoing effect. Okay, and then I get to do my 1 action, right? And that's true whether I play from here or I swap and then play one of these. As long as it goes into one of these 3 locations, I'm getting 1 action plus whatever's on the card. For the other 3 actions, because this is only 3 of my 6 actions, I have to discard, which means I'm covering up one of these. And by covering up one of these, that card's no longer in the game. And if I cover up one of these, I obviously don't get the bonus on the card, but in compensation for that, I get 2 actions instead of just 1. So, I've never played this game before, but you're really low on resources at the beginning of the game, and your first action has to be expand, because you have to put your cube on the board and reveal where you are. And so, there's a little bit of you're forced, right, in the beginning. And so, as much as I would want to discard a card to get 2 actions, I don't know what those 2 actions should be. One of them is going to be expand, and then maybe the other one's going to be invent, because I don't have enough resources to do much. But if I play one of these cards, I'm going to get resources automatically just by playing the card. So, I'm thinking about it. These pottery cards are nice. moving this box up, what that does is that lets me move this to 2. And I know it probably didn't explain this very well, but those luxury resources on the map move this up 2. And then the strategic resources move this up 1. And then your city, I'm sorry, moves this up 1. And your city and your trade stations move these up. So if I have this and this at the end of the first epoch, you gain the bonus here in the yellow equal to the lowest of the 2 tracks. So if this is still here, I don't get diddly. So I have to get both of them moved up. And so I think the game is sort of weighted of these seem to be easier to move. It's easier to move this up than it is this. So what they have is they have these pottery things that let you get 2 supply. So for the rest of the game, you always have 2. You just get 2 supply, and then it doesn't matter what else happens in the game. You have a minimum of 2 supply now because that card is there forever, and so it's forever going to give you 2 supply. And with us having 2 pottery, we could theoretically have 4 supply, and right from the start, bam, we don't even have to worry about anything. And so I don't need iron. I don't need anything. Obviously, if I get an iron, that moves it up again. So it's a very interesting situation. I can go iron and writing, or I could go double pottery, and I can still do iron. It's that's a hard choice. So many hard choices. Oh, excuse me. But before I do any of that, I have to pick which tile I'm going to reveal. I know I'm. So I think I already know this is iron. It's next to desert. I think that the most obvious choice is I want to reveal something around here. This is a strategic resource, so it's going to be another iron or another horse or a horse. And so the thought process is I could do this. This just seems like a really good space to start the game. Although I do want to start in the desert. So I think I'm going to reveal this one. I have to. Yeah, I'm going to reveal this one. Of course, there's no desert. One thing I forgot. See this little symbol? That's a neutral city. These are neutral cities. So that goes... I'm just going to put it in the middle here. It's on the vertice. So where these 3 converge, that's where the city is. It's just the game's not letting me put it exactly in that spot. So cities, by the way, are always on the merged spots. They're never in the middle. Okay, so the cardinal rule for placing your tile is you must always match terrain that's alike, and the order of preference is water is always first, and then plains, then and desert, woods, and mountains last. In this situation, nothing matches, so it doesn't matter which way I orient it. And I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. There's a barbarian here, and the reason I'm doing it this way is I at least want to have the horses. And I'm thinking I'm going to start them here in the desert, and then they'll at least have the horses. But there's a part of me that's like, you know what, I should still take the iron anyways. What a tough decision this is. Because there's no guarantee this is going to be iron. In fact, with the samples we looked at, it doesn't look like it works that way at all. It's just going to be one-time bonuses. I do want them to be on the desert. That is without a doubt. I was hoping this was going to be iron. This neutral city is nice. Okay. We got to pick our action. It's not the end of the world if we don't do the iron thing. We have two cards that do benefit us. We don't know what the rest of the cards are going to be. Um, I really like this concept of the pottery. This would help once we have horses. I want to do the desert thing though. We're going to play pottery. So we'll do that here. That gives us a 2. That's the equivalent of having luxury goods. And for our 1 action, yes, we are going to expand. We're going to take our 1 cube. And I think I am going to go here, which is going to be next to the 4-point city. That gives us a chance to maybe attack that city. I know we're supposed to be peaceniking it, but we are allowed to attack neutral cities even as a peacenick. That'll give us a 4-point bump. And that's not bad. We're next to horses, which is also not bad. And then we get this, whatever this is, and let's flip it now. We're going to gain 2 food. Alright, I will take it. Now, when we expand, just to pay attention, expansion is this symbol that costs 1 food. I forgot to spend the 1 food, but I just got 2. So I'm just going to grab 1. And we're going to do it that way. Then I also forgot to do this. This gives me and the player to my left a production. So when I played that card, I got a production, and so did England. Just like that. Alright, so then when you're done with your turn, we only get 1 action for inventing. We get to do a military step. Now, this is a bit involved once you have a military. We really don't. First of all, if you have to decide to spend maintenance. If you fail to spend maintenance, your military strength goes to 0. You're in bad shape. There is no maintenance for the Axeman. He's always active. He's got a strength of 1. I can choose to become a warmonger. Now, warmonger is a little complicated, but basically, if you're not a warmonger, you can only attack barbarians and neutral cities. You cannot attack other players. Okay? And then here's the barbarian symbol and the neutral city symbol. If you are a warmonger, you can attack whatever the heck you like. And in fact, the turn you decide to become a warmonger, you get to attack every other player this turn. That's assuming you don't want to attack a neutral. You have to choose. Am I attacking a neutral? Sure. And if you do, your turn's over. Or otherwise, you can attack every other player, all in the same turn. Now, that sounds awesome. Why aren't you a warmonger all the time then? Well, first thing, the warmonger has a penalty at the end of the epoch where they're going to lose culture based on the epoch number. So in Epoch 1, you're going to lose 1 culture. Epoch 3, you're going to lose 3. So your culture is going to take a hit, and that's victory points. Number 2, I said that you can't attack another player. If they are a warmonger, though, you can attack them. Any peacenik person who does not go warmonger is allowed to attack a warmonger. Warmongers are safe from nobody. So once you become a warmonger, you're fair game. And so there are bonuses when you do your warmongering. If you're going to roll dice and you're going to have combat values and you add it all together, if you defeat the other player by 1 or more, you get to take an honor token from them. And remember, every honor token is worth 1 point. 3 or more, you actually take over their territory. You remove their cube and you replace it with yours. 6 or more, you steal gold from that player. And gold are wild cards. They count as any type of resource. All failed attacks have no effect, so there's no harm in attacking. And only players with Warmonger can attack other rivals without Warmonger. And so the attack target is a battlefield, which determines which type of bonus is effective. I may not have explained this yet, but basically, in all combat, you get 1 die. If you're defending, you're going to get another die. So, for example, I can put this here to show I'm going to get a bonus die if I'm defending. All players get this. This is automatic. It becomes more relevant when, let's say, you have those camel archers that have a terrain bonus in the desert. You put that here, and that shows. See, it's got a picture of a die on it. So when you do combat, you're going to grab one die from here, and then you're going to grab another die from here because the combat's in the desert. So that's why I keep harping on the desert theme. It's actually pretty interesting because we got the camel archers too, which are desert oriented, if you will. So I like the concept. I didn't like the tile being no desert or even iron, but I'm okay with that. We'll go ahead and start there. We're near the neutral city. We can attack the neutral city, and in fact, I'm nervous because that one symbol looked like you can't attack the neutral city. So let me make sure I read that right. So this is talking about if you're a warmonger, you can attack a land or city of any rival, a barbarian, a neutral city. If you're not a warmonger, you can only attack a land or city of a warmonger player or a camp. Oh, you cannot attack a neutral. You have to be a warmonger to do that. Oh, I probably would not have gone there. This is really hard to retcon because I know what this tile is. And I know what this bonus is. I'll live with it. We'll live with it. Maybe we're just going to live in harmony with that neutral city. I'll have to think about it. Maybe we need to go warmonger just to conquer it. That neutral city does give us bonuses. For example, one of your actions, you can build a trade node, and it only costs one production for a city, and that could be a neutral city that's within 1 to 2 spaces of you. So, not the worst thing in the world to do. Okay, so there's no maintenance, and we get to attack. There's nothing to attack. We could attack a barbarian, but he's 2 spaces away. So, turns over. Now we move over to England, and first thing they do is they get a level 2 card. They got the Bazaar, which looks like a beefed up version of the pottery one that we just did for the Egyptians. Then they're going to draw a market card, and the wonders have a production cost. They're going to give you these bonuses here. This, by the way, is cubes, and then that's culture. And then this is endgame scoring, 1 point for every 2 art. This one you can attack across the sea. You may take rewards of a higher level when you're doing research. And then this is you ignore terrain penalties. Now, England has some awesome cards. Philosophy lets them improve their government ignoring the culture value. So they don't need to have 2 culture to move this government up, which is pretty darn good. Sailing lets them do stuff across the sea route, gain some resources. The wheel looks amazing. You can construct a wonder, and you can spend 1 science to reduce the cost of that wonder by 3. I like that one. I think we're going to start the game with that one. So we're going to do the wheel. And of the wonders, I'm getting disoriented, I'm going to take the Great Library. So that goes here. The Great Library costs 5 resources. But we can spend a science that counts as 1 of them. Or 3 of them, I'm sorry. But before I get ahead of myself, the wheel gives us a production. These are gold. These are production. and it gives the player to our left a production. So the science counted as 3 production, and then we just pay 2 more. That's our 5. So we paid the 5 production, and then we gain 2 culture, and then we may take a higher level science reward when we do science. So Egypt was supposed to be the culture monger, but Britain's going to start out strong. And now we get to do an action. And of course the action is we're going to... Oh, I apologize. We were supposed to reveal a tile. So let's reveal a tile and then we'll figure out where we're going. So Britain, we didn't spend a lot of time on it. They have some sea bonuses, but they don't necessarily need to be at the sea. So again, I'm looking at Britain's situation. There's a nice thing that could be near the sea, so let's try that. So we're going to reveal this one. And so we got to match like tiles, so the water's got to match the water. And actually, that's really nice for Britain. I like that one. I'm looking for the barbarian token. And so Britain, I'm sorry, barbarian token goes here. Look at these 2 nice resources near the water. Britain's going to take that iron right there. So we're going to expand. And they're going to take this iron spot on the mountains. And by taking the iron, it says that the box goes up by 1 for getting the iron in their empire. And that's their turn. That's not a bad turn. They're a little low on resources, but not bad. Alright, next up is the Mongols. The Mongols are going to play like they're in constant war. So first thing they're going to do, of course, is they get their level 2 card, which for them is every time they build a city you gain a culture. Well, who wants culture when you're a barbarian? So we, this might be a discard opportunity. Alright, and then we pull a market card. Oh, we got the horseman. They would like this. You need a horseman. Alright, so the way this is a... You need to have horsemen and 3 science, or you just have to pay 2 more science to overcome this deficit. I don't know if that works for the terrain thing, but for the strategic resource, you could pay 2 extra science. I don't think you pay 2 extra science for this. I'd have to look it up. So since I'm publicly stating this, we should probably look it up. So the what would that be? That would be for the cost of upgrading a military unit right here. So you can pick a card. When there is a strategic resource, you need to pay 2 extra if you do not have it. So that's only the strategic resources. That is not the terrain one. When there's a terrain beside it, you need to pay 2 extra. Oh, it's the same rule right here. Pay 2 extra science if you do not own that kind of land. Okay, that's fine. That means you can get anything you want. Alright, so where are we at? We're on the Mongols. Alright, so we did that. They want the horsemen, and they want horses. So, what are we going to play? We're going to play philosophy, which lets them gain a science. And then the player to their left gains a science, which is France. And then they are going, per the card, gain another science. And then it says they get to change their government and ignore the condition of, they don't need to have the 2 culture. So they're going to change their government to republic. In doing so, they can now, instead of having one cities, they can have three. So two city tokens come out. They also get four more cubes. So they get to grab four cubes from their supply and add it to their board. So they're rolling in the money. And then also they have a power, when they expand, they can expand again. So they get to expand twice. And of course, they're going to. I was getting a little ahead of myself. I got to reveal a tile first. Um, I like that horse. I don't like being next to. Well, I guess if I'm a warmonger, I don't mind being next to them. Let's go ahead and reveal this. Or maybe I revealed this one. I mean, it's crazy, but the Mongols might actually start right next to the Egyptians. And they're going to be warmongers, and the Egyptians are going to have to live in fear. They're going to have to defend themselves. That's what they need to do. So this could be problematic, but the horses are. I mean, if you're in Mongolia, I mean, come on, you need horses. I guess we could reveal this one to see if there's horses here, because that could present another opportunity. So you're not quite as close to another player, and you're near iron. And yeah, let's go for this one. They are horses. It is plains, so you got to match plains with plains if you can, and we cannot. So I think they don't want the water to be in the way. So we'll get all three of these next to each other like this. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and go with that. And so, oh, did I just get ahead of myself? We didn't do France. Oh my gosh, how could I make such a mistake? We talked and talked about France, but we didn't actually do France. Or no, we did England. What are we doing? We're Oh, France goes last. I apologize. We did this, then England, and England is where on the board? They're here. Okay. I'm I'm so sorry. Okay, yes, we are on Mongolia's turn. We're doing it right. So now we get to do an action, and we're going to do the expand action. So we're going to expand right here on this horse. And then when you do an expand action, you get to expand again. So we're going to expand again. We'll grab another cube. And I think I'm going to go on the luxury goods here. So we got the horse and the luxury goods. And so the luxury goods lets this go up by 2, and then the horse makes that go up by 1. So we have it up by 3 now. So Mongolia is rolling. Now, one thing to consider with them is that you could pick as one of their special powers this nomadic ability. And what that says is if you expand, you can basically pull back a cube from any location, and it goes back in your pool. You don't lose it. And when you do, you gain 2 food. So you could literally expand somewhere, pull back a cube from somewhere else, gain 2 food, and then because of this ability, expand again and put your cube right back to where you just pulled it from. There's no thing in the game that prevents you from doing that. So um, it's an option. I don't want to pull back cubes yet. I want the resources that I'm landing on. So I think I'm going to just stick with that. And just mind you, we could always discard a card and do 2 actions. And one of those, of course, would be expanding. The reason I'm against it is I want to get resources. A lot of these actions cost resources to do, and when you're doing 2 actions without having any of these cards played, you don't have a lot of resources in your pool. Now, France has an extra resource because the Mongols was able to give them an extra research there, but that's not. I don't know. Maybe we could do a discard to start the game. I just don't know if that's. I think inventing is a good opening move. So that's why I've been doing that. Okay, so now with all my confusion, I almost skipped their military step. They do want to attack. The Mongols are here. They're next to a barbarian. Barbarians have a strength of 3. They have a strength of 1, but no matter what, you always get 1 die. So they're just going to roll and see if they can get to 4. And boy, do I roll. Oh my gosh, they did. They rolled a 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. They won. And just so you know, this die, can I see the, it's a 1, 2, it's definitely not that. That is not what the values are. Um, there's a 1, 2, 3, and 4, but there's a blank, is what I'm getting at. There is no 5, I don't think. So, so basically, they defeated the barbarians. So this goes away, just off the board. And then they actually get to expand again where the barbarian was. Now that is a perfect candidate for their nomad ability. So you can just pull this up and get 2 food, because I don't know why it's not letting me drop it there. There we go. Alright. Okay, so that's their turn. I need to pause real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. We are getting ready to start France's turn. Oh, so let's get them going. And what is France going to do? I'm looking at the map. You can see that the Mongols are here. We got one group over here, one group over there. So by default, it looks like France is going to be over here. It looks like everybody else took all the good spaces. So my first criticism of the game is when you go last, you get the worst of all the picks, and it's not like they got any other bonuses for going last. Like, what are they getting, bonus-wise, for going last? They get the worst real estate of everything. I do have a bit of an issue with that. So, first thing they do is they get a second card. Next thing they do is we draw a market. And it's a jaguar, which gives you can attack across all forests. So it doesn't matter, like if you have a chain of 6 forests, you can attack all the way across the whole chain. You don't have to be adjacent. And they get huge bonuses in the forest. So you want to be a forest monger. The unfortunate thing is that you're either going to start right next to them, or right next to them. All 3 forests in the game are sort of taken. I don't know if I'm brave enough to start right next to somebody at the start of the game. I mean, you could get eliminated. I don't. That could be horrible to get eliminated, like completely wiped off, and then the rest of the game it's like playing Risk, and you lose right away, and then you spend the rest of everybody else is playing while you're just watching movies. No good, no good. So. Which territory are we going to reveal? I feel like we have to be here-ish. We're going to be stuck in a corner between 2 players. This is your stuck in the corner period. This is you're right next to England. Yeah, it's basically you're looking at this here. So I'm going to reveal this tile right here. It is a desert. I could flip it around like this. Yeah, I'm going to flip it around. And we do have a barbarian here. And that's extremely interesting. And then what's even more interesting is I think, if I remember France's cards from glancing at them, look at this. They got all these mining cards. So all these bonuses for being in the mountains. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to play a mining card. And what that says is every time you expand on a mountain, you gain a production. So they're going to gain a production now. And so does the player to their left. And then, of course, for their action, they're going to expand. And I think we are going to go in that area we revealed. Instead of going on the luxury resource, we're going to go right here on the mountain. I don't know why it keeps doing that. So we're going to go right there on the mountain, and in doing so, they gain another production. So they got a lot of production, a lot of things in order, and that's good. So now they get to do their combat, and they're going to do the same thing. They're going to try to take out the barbarian. And that time they rolled a blank. Nothing happens to you if you fail, so it's just you can't lose, so why not try it, right? So France's turn is now over, and that's it. We just did one full round. We got 5 more to go for the first epoch. So now it's Egypt's turn, and we're going to play something. I just don't know what. Domestication actually might be helpful for them. I think we gave up on the iron thing, but I don't want to discard that yet. Although we may have to. I think with Egypt we want to do. Oh, hold on. I'm thinking about what I want to do. We got more stuff. Let's draw our next card. So their next card is for trade. So if they have a trade good, they gain a food and a gold. So I think that's when you do the trade action. And at the end of the game, you get 2 points if you have 6 or more goods, which is this. And actually, that's really powerful considering we just chose the pottery, which gave 2 of those goods. So that actually locks in the idea of doing pottery. And it's also the reason why maybe you shouldn't get. I mean, we didn't go for the iron, so the steel thing is less valuable, but maybe, this just trumped it in a way, right? So it doesn't mean all hope is lost. Okay, so we drew our level 2 card. Now we got to do our market. And it's the Hanging Gardens, so these go up. Technically, those should have gone up before. This goes there, and the Hanging Gardens cost 5. Building cities cost 1 less production. Not a bad one. A little expensive, but not bad. Okay, so now the question becomes, what do we want to do? I think I am for sure going to do both of the pottery now that I see this. And then I do like the horses one, just from the perspective. And I forgot something. When we expand, you lose a food. So every player should have been paying a food. So 1, 2. Oh. 3. We gotta retcon that one. And 4. So when you expand, you have to pay food. And remember, they expanded twice. So there is a way around it. You can take 2 of your cubes, put them here, and then they can convert this research into a food. So we're just going to discard the research, and then that covers it. The only drawback to that is they now only have 3 cubes left for expansion in this epoch. They lost those 2 cubes, but that's going to mitigate the fact that I was short on food. You got to have food, folks, or otherwise you can't expand. I should pay more attention right here. The expansion action costs 1 food. So that's where we're getting back to this. I like the idea of the horse because it's saying that when you expand into plains, if you have a horse, you gain a food. So it's a way to get food, and then of course you get a food up here because of that. Um, Now, you could always do this action, which based on your government, you can produce whatever the hammer says, and then that's one food. But for the Mongols, they're producing production. No. Okay, so what does Egypt want to do? I think we want to discard a card and just do two actions. And the card I want to discard is. See, I would love to build a wonder. If I do the two pottery, I can only do one more thing. It's going to be this. This is nice. I think I'm not. I think this is no more longer an issue. So we're going to discard ironworking. And which one do we want to cover up? I think we're going to cover up. I think the Mongols want domestication, so we're going to cover that up so they can't have it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. But it's discarded, and now we gain two actions. We do have a food. How is it that we have a food? I guess we got it from. Man, the fact that I forgot to spend the food whenever I expanded has me all discombobulated now because I'm wondering should I have that food right there? We did the pottery. I don't think I should have that food. Uh, I keep scrolling the wrong way. I'm going to go ahead and discard it. I don't think I should have it. You start the game with one food. We spent one food. We did the pottery action, which just moved this up by two. We did one action where we placed a food, and that was it. Oh, no, 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 no. We should have the food. Never mind. We were given two food because of this, and I did spend the one food for him, so I should actually have both food. He had three. We actually remembered to pay the food when we expanded here. We just forgot with the other three. Okay. I remember now. Thank you. Sorry about the. Oh boy, that was quite a discombobulation there. So we got plenty of food to expand. So I think one of our actions is we're going to expand. So, gonna discard the food. We're gonna grab another cube, and I want to expand on the horse. Not that I want to be non. We're going to take the horse because by taking the horse, that's a strategic resource. We get another one of these. So that's one of the reasons. And I think the horse is just going to help us in general. So action 1, expand. Action 2, we're going to upgrade our military. That costs science. And the one that we want is the camel archers, which use desert. So that's 2 science. And we only have 1. So Egypt is going to spend their remaining 2 cubes to convert this food. Boy, that's a risky game to play there. But we do want it. We need to have it. So we're going to do the 2 science. And now we have camel archers, which go here, like so. And we own desert. We had to pay the 2 science. And then we have advantage in desert. So now we take one of our little tokens and we rotate it and we put it over the desert. So now when we do combat, we're going to gain 1 die from every battle. And if it's in the desert, we'll gain another one. And having the horses actually didn't matter. I thought it was going to matter for this. The horses actually matter for this guy, the horseman. Which, if you'll notice, the horsemen have the same bonus. So we actually want both if we can. But that's going to cost 3 science. I am very science poor right now. So maybe that's going to make this one the clear winner. We're gonna gain rating. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Okay, so that ends. Oh, then we get to do a military. There's no maintenance. We now have a strength of 2, and we're gonna roll against the. Well, we can roll against that barbarian, but we don't have a cube. Yeah, this whole. Did I want to do that? Spending the 2 cubes thing is really limiting when you only have 4. I'm gonna actually. I got another plan. Instead of spending the 2 cubes, I know it sounds crazy, but I think I'm gonna do this. That immediately lets me gain a food, the science I was looking for, and a production and a culture. So let me grab the food and the production, and then I'm not going to bother grabbing the science. And then they finally move up 1 on the culture track. Yeah, that's the better way to do it. It did use one of my bonuses, but I I needed the resources, and having that camel archer is big. So now I have 2, and I'm going to attack the barbarian, which is not in the desert, so that doesn't help me. I only get to roll 1 die. And Jesus, I rolled a 4, which I didn't even need the camel archer. So this gets destroyed, and then it lets Egypt expand again. And I forgot we get to reveal territory. So Egypt's going to reveal this one. And that's exactly how I have to place it. And you'll notice there's a neutral city. And also one of these question mark thingies came up. Okay. A little rough with the resource management, but we pulled it off. I actually thought of, like, you want to get your military up because if you don't, you're just going to get rumple stomped by somebody else who did. But at the same time, as you can see, it costs a lot of science, and science is not easy to come by. Um, but Egypt has a lot of production. So what they could do is they could try to build a city, but in order to build a city, you either need to have 2 locations next to water, or you have to have all 3 locations. So here's what I mean by that. Um, I would have to have both of these locations to build this city here, which is already built. So, and a city has to be 2 spaces away from another city. So I can't build a city here, here, or there. So you can look at like this situation. Um, I could build a city here, but I need to have a cube here. I have to have a cube in all 3 locations to build the city in the middle. Okay? Or I can put a cube here, put a city there. So that's so as you can see, it takes production to make a city, but it also you could build a trade node. And with the neutral city being near them, they could only have to spend 1. Excuse me. And when you build a trade node, that lets you move this up by 2. That's super powerful. Okay, let's move on to England. First thing, you grab a card. Their card is a whole bunch of gaining stuff. And then they got a horse archer. Very interesting. Alright, England then gets to reveal a tile. So England is here. They for sure want to reveal this tile. And it looks like it doesn't matter which way you orient it. I think they would prefer to do it this way. And the question mark comes out there. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's another neutral city there. I wish these would lay flat. I don't know how to. I mean, I know I can knock it over like that, but as soon as I pick it up, it unflattens itself. I'm sure there's a keyword for it. I don't know what it is. If somebody wants to put that in the comments, I appreciate you. Not all heroes wear capes. And yeah, anyways. There it is. Okay, so that's the situation. It's not bad. England, I don't think, cares about the. Now, they have barbarians on the other side. Now, why am I aggressively going after barbarians? First of all, it's a free expansion. You don't have to spend a food if you win. Second, at the end of the epoch, if there's a barbarian next to you, they steal gold from you. So, yeah, you don't want that. So you need to kill the barbarians. Kill them all. Now, England, for whatever reason, only has one resource. Oh, that's because they built the wonder. Yeah, so they're a wonder blender. So what we need is we need to get some resources. So maybe we should either consider philosophy, which lets them gain a government, although they already have two culture. They don't need philosophy to do it. They can just do it through an action. Um, what I think is actually more interesting is if they did the action to improve their government, they could do philosophy to improve their government again. Wow, that's actually a really interesting idea. And we can actually go like right up the middle here. And then look at this one. When you produce a wonder, you gain an extra action, which they have another wheel. So they could actually produce two wonders potentially. Wow, that'd be fairly powerful. That does mean that they don't get anything else. And what I mean by don't get anything else, so like this sailing one, they can build sea routes as if they were local for trade. And England is on the water, and there's two cities on the water. They can build trade nodes at. Um, there's potential here. Like, do I really need philosophy that bad, or do I really need another wonder that bad? And maybe I don't. Like I was thinking of going up the middle, right? And that would get me this bonus. But that only works if I'm building wonders. Maybe if I want, oh, look at this. A trade gets me a culture. So I could do fish sailing and philosophy as my other two inventions, and then I'm just not gonna. I'm gonna forego these three. Now the fishing, each city adjacent to water provides one. That's not horrible. Um, if they take this barbarian, they're going to be able to build a city right here on the water, or this one. Doesn't matter which one. In fact, they can build both cities. That's powerful too. Boy, there's tough choices there. So that is taking advantage of being near water, right? So these are the two water bonuses. By doing that, I'm foregoing the philosophy one, which I guess is not the end of the world. I mean, uh, the thing is I could bump. So I build my little trade node with the fishing. That gives me one of these. So I'm getting culture, and I also gain 4 gold, like early in the game. I'm already all the way up to federalism. I mean, I guess I could do empire. Um, that gives me just one extra military strength, just no matter what. Um, whew, those are some. There's some nice meaty choices in this game because there's like you can see there's like multiple paths you can take, and which one's going to be the most efficient for you. I like the idea of abusing the philosophy, um, because since England already has two culture, they can spend an action to move up to one of these three on its own. And then usually you're stuck, right? Because they toss 6 more to get to the next one. Well, they got this. You get to ignore the condition and just bam, you could go right up to the next one. And like here, you're getting 3 gold and a. Hmm. All right. Although this just provides one. Is that really? I mean, it's nice. Okay, my mind's made up. I'm gonna do these two, and so that means I need to just get rid of these. So I'm gonna get rid of Kodalal first. And which one do I want to cover up? I'm gonna cover up agriculture. Prevent people from getting food. England does not have any food, so they can't do anything there. They only got one action. So let me think about this. Did I really want to do 2 actions right now? There's nothing to do. I don't have science. Yeah, hold on. Let me take this back. I think we want to invent again. And we're going to do sailing first. So this gives us a science and the person to our left a science. So England gets a science, and then to their left, Mongolia gets a science. All right, done. And then they gain a production and a science. So one production for England and another science for England. Now they're getting some resources. And then every sea route trade doohickey is -1 cost. Okay. So then they get an action, right? And their action is they're going to do a trade route. And so normally it costs 2 to go over the sea, but this lets it cost just 1. So we're going to just spend 1 production, like so. And they take one of these little trade route doohickeys, and we're going to put it on this city here. Now, each city can have 2 trade nodes. So we're going to use this as the first one. And so by putting a trade node doohickey there, you can see here the trade node gives you 2 handshakes, which is demand. So we now have 2 demand and 1 supply. Just like that. All right, and you only get 1 action because we chose sailing. And I like it. And so the idea is I want to put another trade node out over here. And so then I'll have 4 demand for this epoch. I got to figure out how to get my supply up, but I got this here, which I could expand into. And as you can see, that gives me 2 more. So I like it. It's a good strategy. We're going to go for it. I do need to do 1 action here as well. We'll have to figure that out. Oh. Never mind. Hold on. We're not doing this. No. We're waiting until we take federalism. So instead of doing that as our action, we are going to take the government. So we're going to move up to here, where the science costs 1 less, and we gain 2 culture for doing that. So England is now up to 4 culture. They're just rocking the culture. That was unintentional, but it is. And then okay, their military thing happens. They're between 2 barbarians, and once again they're gonna try. They got to roll big. They did. 3 plus 1 is 4. Which one are they taking? I'm gonna go ahead and we'll take this one out first. I should have declared that ahead of time, I guess, but it doesn't matter. So there we go. England is there. They now have 2 spots. They could build a city here if they wanted. All right, England's turn is over. Now we go to Mongolia. Mongolia is going to draw a card. Their card is you may expand, and when you expand, gain science. Holy crap, does this line up with what they like doing? So that's really good. All right, and then we draw for the market. It is a swordsman. These war elephants are out of the game. Everything moves up. Swordsman moves up. All right. And then they get to take. Oh, I'm sorry. They got a reveal. They are over here. I think we should reveal. I want to reveal this because it's right next to me. I know France is over here too. Yeah, let's reveal this one. And that's exactly how it has to lay. So this lines up and that lines up. And then a question mark comes out. And a neutral city is right here. Okay. I almost like putting it out there more than covering up the stuff. Anyways, it's a little clunky, but we'll make it work. Um, the iron would be nice. This, of course, is nice. Neither of those are plains, which is where they need to go. They have no food, so that's their limiting factor. They already wasted 2 cubes. They're not going to do that again. Um, there's nothing they can do here to get food. So what are they going to do? Um, I think they want to upgrade their military. I mean, these are warmongering people. The fishing would give them food, even if they don't have any cities by the sea. Food preservation and agriculture. Here you gain a production, and then this says you build a city adjacent to there, you gain a food, and you would gain a food that way. This one gives you 3 food, and you can keep food at the end of the epoch. So I think we're going to do that. Yeah, they're going to do a second invention, food preservation, and they need this. So they want to expand, and you can't expand without food. So they're going to get 3 food, and then for doing it, they get a 4th food. And so does the player to their left. France really needed that food, so they say thank you. All right, and then they get 1 action. Um, they got a lot of actions. I think they want to upgrade their military. They got 3 science. Let's try to upgrade military. And the horse archers, the horsemen, see they got bonuses in the plains and also a bonus in the mountains. These guys are awesome. But look, they cost a food and maintenance. Got to be really careful. That costs a food and maintenance, folks. So if they want to keep them active, they got to keep feeding them food. Ugh. What does their government get them? If they need to, they just produce. They produce. They don't produce food. See, my dilemma is how am I going to get food? I guess I could do the nomadic thing. Every time you expand, you gain 2 food. Yeah, that's how I have to do it. All right, I'm going to take the horsemen. The horsemen are a nice, juicy 3 attack strength. We're going to cover up that card. I'm assuming we have horses. Yeah, we do. And that costs 3 science. So 1, 2, 3. Pick them all up. There we go. Alright, that's good. I like it. And then you can see they have 2 advantages in the plains and 1 in the mountains. And so we grab 1, 2, 3 of these. One, 2, 3. So again, when combat happens, you're supposed to check this chart, and you get a die for this, and then 2 dice for here or 1 die for here. You just go along. It's a pretty cool little system. Okay, so then we got to do the actual war step, and so they are next to another barbarian here. Oh, I'm sorry. We did our action. We upgraded. Yeah, they're next to a barbarian, so they're gonna pay a food, and in doing so, um, technically, that food is supposed to go here. This stays on the card to show that you paid it. So if somebody attacks you later and it's like, hey, did you remember to pay your maintenance? That's how you prove it. So they get three, and 1 second. All right. So now for the military action, we're going to attack these barbarians. We don't need to go, what you would call it? We don't need to go into warmonger mode. You got to be next to another player for it to even be a super important thing. But you could, attack neutral cities, of course. There's a nice juicy one here, right next to them. But we're going to attack the barbarian. That'll give us a free expansion. And we'll roll our die. This is in the mountains, or no, on the plains. So actually, we could use our ability right now. So we get our 1 die, and because we're on the plains, we get 2 more. So we roll all these. We get a +4. And we have a 3. That's 7. The barbarian only has a strength of 3. We needed a 4 or better. We defeated them. And so then we get to take one of our cubes and boom, we're expanded. Just like so. So easy peasy. That just cost a food. That's the only problem. When we do expansions, I may have to do this nomadic thing so we can start gaining food that way. Alright, their turn is over. Now we go to France. France draws a card. Everybody should have 2 level 2 cards now. France draws for the market. These cards should move up. Statue of Zeus. So Terracotta Army out of the game. Alright, so what is Statue of Zeus? 4 production, 1 and 2. So actually, this is a cool one. If you're in the Warmonger mode, you get 1 less culture punishment. So for Epoch 1, you don't take any punishment at all. That's interesting. Very interesting. Who are we on? We're on France. Okay, then France gets to reveal something. So France is over here in a corner. You can't put baby in a corner. So we're going to go ahead and reveal this one. And this goes on. And we have to match up terrain, so it has to flip around like this. And France has itself a really nice little situation of, there's a lot of mountain tiles, right? And France is, none of them have iron on them, but the mountain tiles give France really nice bonuses. So they would like to expand to get that luxury resource, or to do some mountain stuff, because they gain a production when they expand in the mountain. So a lot of cool things. They could do another mining, and then they would gain double production, right? So they're sort of doubling up there. They could. This one is you get to build a Epoch 1 Wonder as a free action. Might be worthwhile because we're gaining a lot of these from the mining. So food for thought. The hunting is a nice way to get food. If you expand in the forest or the mountain, you gain a food. And France right now is looking at many mountain. There's that one in the desert. What's interesting is I think we were initially thinking of doing desert stuff. I think those are some good ideas. The sailing does us no good at the moment. This one is an interesting one that has some synergy, but I like the idea of the hunting. As much as it would be nice to get two bonus actions right now, I actually think I want to get my engine building going, which is what this is, right? This is going to get me an engine. That's another engine builder. This one is just a nice thing. Basically you get to build a wonder as a free action. I'm going to go ahead and do the hunting, and that gives a food, and then the player to the left a food. So one food for France, and then one food for underpants. And then, yeah, it's saying if you expand into a mountain, gain another food. Unfortunately, for my action now, I do want to expand, but it's not going to be in a mountain. I want to take this. Got to get the luxury resource first. Yeah, it's getting a little tricky there. Maybe if I rotate around. Alright, so we're just covering up the luxury resource, I guess. Um, Alright, and then luxury resources give France 2. And that's their one action, unfortunately, but they got a nice buildup of stuff that they can use for later. They are going to try to do the military, take that barbarian out. 2 plus 1 is 3, that's not enough. They do need to eventually, they got 2 science. They're going to have to grab one of these military people at some point. And remember, they can always grab a spearman or an archer from here. And then like this swordsman and archer are a nice combo. Okay, France's turn is over. Now we go back here. Again, draw a level 2. They got fertilizer. They draw from the market. A ballista. That's an interesting one. Nice range. It's better than the archer in almost every way. Just more expensive. Reveal tile. Where are they at? They're here. Yeah, we definitely... Well, actually, we want to probably reveal this one. The corner one... Actually, no, let's do the corner one. And that works. That also works. Yeah, we're going to do it this way. And there's barbarians way in the back here. So there's another nice bonus there. They got a lot of... They got a bonus. They have nice options. They can only expand one more time. Unfortunately. They do seem to have some non-desert tiles, so maybe the domestication is not as bad of an idea as we originally thought. We were thinking about doing the other pottery for sure, and then we were just trying to decide, okay, which one of these are going to be the third. I actually think the domestication is a really good idea now. I'm going to go ahead and... Yeah, we're just going to discard masonry and do 2 actions. I don't want to cover up the agriculture, although... Yeah, we're covering up agriculture. Alright, so we get 2 actions. We have a lot of stuff. One of them is we're going to expand. So that's going to cost a food. And it's our last expansion cube. And I think we want to expand here. And so now we got the bonus resource. Now, one of the problems of this is we're next to the barbarian. I guess I could wipe out the barbarian. I just can't expand. Yeah. That's okay. I think it's worth it for the 2. Although, we're going to have pottery. We're going bunkers on this. Actually, I'm going to take the 2 back. We're not expanding yet. Are we? No, I want to be able to build a city, don't I? So I want to build here, expand there, and use the. Oh, nope, I need domestication. Yeah, we're not expanding, folks. Oh, I'm so sorry. I want to get domestication out before I do. See, it helps you get your engine out first. So we're going to do two actions, and I think we're going to do the. One of them is going to be trade. We're going to spend a production and take this little trade doohickey and put it right here, just like we were going to do for England. So this one is definitely happening, and then that gives us two handshakes, which is demand. So that was action one, and then we have three more production, and this is what I was thinking about is um, we can't build a city. We could grab a food. I don't think I can do another trade. By the way, if you ever trade with another player's city that another player owns, that other player has to agree, and if they agree, then both of you get a gold when you do the trade note. All right, so I'm just to be able to trade here. That costs two production. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna do that. We're gonna trade again, and that costs two production because we're trading over the sea. And we're gonna take another trade node and we're gonna put it down on this one. There. That was funny. It went right on top. And then that moves the handshake up to 4. None of this is really improving their culture much, but it's the right idea. They're building up their economy. I'll eventually find it, folks. All right, so that's done. I did want to upgrade military, but there's no science, so can't do it. Um, we could. The gift of the Nile is not working because I only have one desert, so not a great idea at the moment. The desert plan is not really turning into something. But we do have 2 attack, and yeah, there's no barbarians to attack, so yeah, it turns over. Done. Okay, moving on to England. We got a duplicate. And for the market, a mountain warrior. So Jaguar is gone. The mountain warrior is interesting. They get huge bonuses in the mountain. So France would actually really like this one. Interesting. Okay, so England still has a basic warrior. They got 2 research. They could get an archer. Um, it's not the worst idea. They get to reveal a tile. We're gonna reveal, since they're over here, they're gonna reveal this one. And we can lay it. Okay, so this is where priorities come in. Is this the priority or is the desert? And the answer is right here. The plains are the priority over the desert. So now we could actually do that and measure, and everything lines up. Yeah, let's do that. That's more pleasing to look at. All right, so with that, the question mark comes out. And we have a neutral city. That is an interesting revelation right there. All right, so England had a plan. They do want to put trade on both of these. I think their plan was they're going to do philosophy, which is their final curtain. But yes, this is going to give them a research. It's going to give the next one over a research. And they're going to gain another research. And they get to improve their government ignoring the culture. So they're going to actually improve this one to federalism. And they gain 4 gold for doing that. And gold is stored down here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And every time they do a trade doohickey, they now gain a culture. And that was the whole idea. So we're going to now build trade at a -1 cost, and we're going to gain culture for doing it. And we do get an action, and we can do that now, or we can use our 4 research to upgrade our military. What's interesting is I took this a long time ago, and I have yet to use it. I'm just looking to see if I spent my 4 military. I don't really want military with upkeep. The mountain warrior is great, but I guess they sort of are in the mountains. They are. At least one of their places is. Another one probably will be. It's okay. The other thing is they're not under military threat at the moment. Although they're sort of getting close. I think we can buy one more round. We're going to go ahead and do the trade thing. And make sure we lock in this spot over here. That costs 1 production to do. And the trade moves this up by 2. Okay. Next we do military. They do have that 1 barbarian that they can't kill. And still can't. Alright, next up. The Mongols. Petra. Colossus is gone. Petra. The maximum distance of a land route is +3. So you can do trade routes over land. Much further distance. It's not horrible. We did that. Oh, reveal a tile. They're going to go ahead and reveal this one. They can do either way. I think they're going to rotate it around like this. And Barbarian goes there. Okay, they have the Horseman. They would like to get the Horse Archer. They only have 1 research. The Horse Archer is ready to disappear. It needs 2 research. So they need to figure out how to get 1 more research. I can't remember what their plan was. I thought their plan... I mean, you could say that that's their plan, but that really isn't. In fact, I don't think they had a plan. I think they wanted the horse thing that was here, but those are long gone. Yeah. This one might be nice, the food preservation. That would give them... But see, that doesn't give them the research that they need for their action. And so this one here, Code of Law, or Mathematics, gives them a production. And if they ever do build a wonder, they gain a science. I mean, that's probably more useful than this one, because I don't think they're building cities. I mean, they could. They gain a production if they build a city. It's not horrible. Yeah, let's do that one. We'll do Code of Law. And so they're doing that because they really need the research. So that gives them the research point that they're looking for. They give 1 to France here. They need it too because they want to upgrade their military, get those mountain men. And for their action, they're going to grab these cavalry. So this is really cool. So they have the horseman and the horse archer together. That costs 2 science because they already have the horse. Oh, wrong way. Okay, so that costs 2 science, and now they have a combined total of 4. And the cool thing is, and I don't know where the tokens are. There should be a token in the game. Oh, I guess everybody has a +1 next to them. Here it is. Take this +1 token, and that goes there. So what that basically is saying, it's 3, 4, and 5 because see the formations match. So they get a +1. And I forgot to indicate this. This board is more powerful than you think. They actually have 5 military strength, so that goes there. And they actually show the barbarian and the city on here. So technically, this is 2 for Egypt. And then England and France, I think, are both still at 1. So that's how that is supposed to work. Alright, that is their 1 action, and they're done. But for here on out, they're going to get 2 actions, 2 actions, 2 actions. And so this is where we need our food and we need our whatever. At the beginning of the turn, this was supposed to go away as part of the upkeep. Keep going to the wrong side. Alright, so as part of the upkeep, that's supposed to go away. And now I gotta choose to either spend another food to activate this. And there is another barbarian we can go after. Like, we could just keep expanding through barbarians. I'm not gonna do it, because I want to expand the other way. And the reason I want to do that is when I expand, I can do this thing for 2 food. So actually, beating the barbarian is going to help me, because getting rid of stupid cubes that are in places I don't want them to be is actually helping me to let me think about this. Sure, I'll spend the food and then let's fight. And it should be an easy battle. Even rolling nothing, I win. 3, 4, 5 always beats a 4. So it's a win. So they expand, and you can see they only have 1 cube left. But if we take this ability, this nomadic ability, we're going to expand and then take a cube back for 2 food. And then expand again because of this, and then take another cube back for 2 food. So we're going to gain 4 food in the process. And we have this food preservation, so we got our nice little system going. We're going to have a lot of food. We need to figure out how to get production and do other things, but at least from a food perspective, we got it covered. All right. Okay, I think that's a decent round. Now we move to France. We grab a card. These all move up. We draw this. There it is, the Great Pyramids. See, 1 victory point for every 2 desert. Move those up. Put that there. I think with Egypt, I'm not building enough monuments. The problem with Egypt building monuments is I need production. And I haven't done much to give myself production, but I'll get some here. And then I think I'm going to do this domestication thing too. We're getting there, folks. It's just taking a little bit. Okay, let's finish this guy's turn. And now this is the last time. This is the last tile to reveal. Nothing left to reveal. France does get to decide if they want to rotate it like that or like that. This gives a lot of terrain for them to expand in without even fighting anybody. So I think they're going to do it this way. Well, that allows Egypt to get attacked. That helps Egypt because it puts the question mark right next to them. Ooh, that's a tough one. I think this hurts Egypt more. And so we got another question mark, and the last of the cities is there. So Egypt can do it. They just got to go over the sea to trade with them, and that's a cool deal for Egypt. They can do that. Okay, now getting to France, they like their situation. They want to get the mountain man, and they want to expand into these. I'm sorry, they want to expand into the mountains, get the mountain man, and then they want to kill this barbarian and that one, which is also an expansion. So I think they only have 4 cubes. That's the part they got to be careful about. There's one of the cubes. That would be another one. Um, hmm. So what's the order we would like to do things? We could build a wonder, which is what we've been talking about doing. I think this is the double up. Yeah, we're gonna double up. So this gives us the two bonuses. So we're gonna grab a production, and then that gives a production to Egypt. They get one action, and for that one action, they're going to grab. They want to grab the mountain man. That mountain man's a good one for them. This requires them to be on a mountain, which they are, and 3 science. So here's the 1, 2, 3 science. And that's going to overwrite this. And they get 2 bonuses in the mountains, which will help them. I keep trying to do things and the UI gets a little clunky. Alright, so 2 mountain bonuses for France. And then the mountain guys are... Where are you at, France? They have a value of 2. So all that did was move them up by 1. But I think the fact that they get the big bonuses in the mountain is where their value is. Alright, so we grab that. And then now they got a nice bonus. Well, not a nice bonus against that guy, but they're at least at 2. We're going to go ahead and attack. They roll 2 more. That's 4. They win. Excuse me. So they grab their cube. Replace this one. If anything, France is in the desert. There's a juicy thing. There's a lot of juicy stuff for them to eventually try to get. But, yeah, so they win the battle. They get the free expansion because of it. And they're done. Nothing else to do there. So we're moving to here. So here you can see we have 3 turns left. Yes, 3 turns left. So let's grab our card. And let's grab this card. Oh, we got a chariot. And what are they going to do? They're fully... No, they got 1 expansion left. They have to do 2 inventions still. I think we should get our inventions out. We're going to do the domestication one for sure. Because that, if we expand, that's the thing we wanted to do. Because if we have horses, we gain a food. So we're going to go ahead and gain a food. And then that gives England a food. Which they didn't have. And now we're going to do an action. And I think now is when we want to do the expand action. Because we were talking about this. And we want to expand here. Even though that looks nice. We're going to expand here for now. And in doing so, that triggers this, which gives them another food. But they had to pay a food to do the expansion, so it's a wash. Basically, it became a free expansion. and now they can do their military thing. Well, they don't have to because they're not next to. That was part of the reason I didn't want to go here because we would have to fight a barbarian. So we don't even have to do that. So now we're done. Um, we're gonna get a production. I think we want to get a wonder built because if you want to win the culture battles, you got to build wonders. I'm learning that as I'm playing. Like, we're not really moving up much on the culture track without it. So building wonders is your trick to culture, and it sort of makes sense. And that's the reason why England is so far ahead. They're the only ones that built a wonder, and then of course they happen to get lucky and have another card that actually gives them stuff. So when they built this trade node, one thing I forgot to do is they actually gained a culture for that. So they should be up to 5 now. They gained. We can calculate this real quick. They gained 2 culture from this, and then 2 culture from that is 4, and then 1 from this is 5. So there it is. Easy peasy. Okay, so we played the card. We did our 1 action. They're done. All right, moving on to these guys. They get their card. The market happens. There's a hoplite. England is still sitting on just an axeman. They've done all 3 inventions, so they need to start just discarding. So they're going to discard the wheel. They're going to cover up food preservation for anybody that's tempted to take that. And they get 2 actions. So what are they going to do with their 2 actions? Well, action 1, they're going to spend 1 production, put out another trade, take advantage of their water thing, right? And so another trade node comes out. This moves up to 4, and the trade thing gives them another culture, so they skyrocket up to 6. What else do they get? The cost -1. Yeah, that's it. But that's just 1 action. Now they get another one. They do have a food, so they can expand. They got 2 cubes to expand with, or they can upgrade their military because they need to beat that barbarian. They do have 4 research. This hoplites are pretty awesome. They have 3 attack power for 3 research. I think that's perfect. They'll take the hoplites. Let me get my camera adjusted here. Alright, so that costs 3 research. 1, 2, 3. Now, it didn't get lost on me that I still want to do this. But we'll do that next turn. They got 1 research left. Alright, so they upgraded that for their second action. And then now that helps them to... All they have to do is roll 1 to beat these barbarians. And of course they got a blank. So they still didn't beat the barbarians. But that's alright. Next time, guys. Alright. Mongolia. I said that I wanted them to be more warmongers. They haven't had to be warmongers yet. But we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Catapults. Catapults are really good at attacking cities, as you can see. Alright. They have all 3 of their inventions built. If you look at their situation, there is a possibility to try to invade here, but we have to be next to it. We're not next to anybody. We could get next to Egypt here, which could be a problem for them. To attack a city means to be a warmonger. Now, one thing, if I'm trying to be kind, is I could go after this city because I can expand. I get this bonus. I have an opportunity to expand again here, and I can also attack that city. I mean, actually, that is probably the most ideal. Or expand here, right? These 2 cities are probably more attractive than this one because that question mark's missing, but these 2 are not. So, yeah, that makes sense. So, let's discard a card. We're going to discard mathematics. We'll put it over top of mathematics, and we're gonna use our cube to unlock nomadic, and we're going to expand this cube to here. And then after doing that, we're going to remove this cube and get 2 food. This food was removed. All right, and then we get to expand again. And so we will expand again to here. And in doing so, we will remove this cube for 2 more food. So see, like, you don't have to keep removing cubes. I mean, I just gained a whole crap load of food just from doing that. So that was just one action. This expand was just one action, and then that was also part of one action. So then for the second action, um, oh, what are we going to do for the second action? We're going to... That's a great question. We could produce. We only have 2 of these. I don't think we can build a wonder with 2. That Zeus thing would be nice to build. But see, Zeus requires 4 production. We do want that. So what I can do then is I can do this action, which lets you collect these resources, which is 1 production. So it's going to be the brute force method, but assuming it doesn't get pushed off the board, we'll have 4 next round. And then we're going to become a warmonger. So you take this doohickey and you put it somewhere. I don't know, I guess on your thing, to tell the world you're a warmonger. And there we go. So you can see it's got the warmonger face on it. Now, why did I do that? Well, in order to be able to invade a neutral city, you have to be a warmonger. And we're invading this neutral city, which is located here, because we got a cube. We're right next to them. So we're going to go ahead and attack. I have 5 strength, and we're attacking the city, which has no terrain. So we need to get to 7 to beat the city. So this is not a guaranteed win. Actually, let's check the rule book. What terrain is that city considered to be for an attack? Um, so when you take the warmonger marker, you can launch an attack on all the opponents. We're not near any of them, so it doesn't help us this particular round. But we're going to go ahead and attack a neutral city. And I think the neutral city is not... Oh, it's its own terrain. That's why. Cities are its own terrain, right here. See? That's why you need the catapult, right? That helps you against city attacks. So you can see they get 1 die here, but they get nothing else. So this is not a guaranteed win. We're going to roll 1 die, and we're at 5 strength. We need... we got to get to a 7, I believe, or an 8. That puts us to a 6. And you can see here that the city is at 7, so we need an 8 to beat a city. It didn't work, but that's okay. We'll try again next round. Oh, I forgot to do this. We gained 2 food. Oh yeah, we needed a lot of that. We need more food, that's for sure. I'm only going to take 1 food because the other one is supposed to activate here. So yeah, we don't have enough military strength to defeat them. I could... only the swordsman is strong. 5. but I need to use food to feed my people. Production would kill me. All right, well, that's it for them. Now we move to France. France gets a card. The slinger comes out, so swordsman's gone. And they've done all their inventions. So now they're just discarding to get 2 actions. Action 1. We're going to expand, which costs a food. They're going to get out their last cube, and they're going to go right here. Which one? They're going to go here on the mountain. And when they go on the mountain, they gain a production, they gain a production, and they gain a food. So that food comes right back, and they get 2 more production. Boy, was that messy. I just knocked everything over. These are, by the way, 5 tokens, so you don't have to take those individual things if you don't need to. Okay, so 2 actions. One of them was expand, which gave us all those bonuses, and then you can see they have a boatload of production. We need to get this up, but the only way to get that up is to have a city and let me think about this. Yeah, they can build a city. So they're going to do that. For 3 production, they can build 1 city. So as much as I wanted to do a wonder, the city's better. So we're going to spend 3 production. And we get to build a city, which is this guy. And that city is going to go right, well, close enough. It's right there in the middle. Yeah. They definitely have issues with that. So by building that city, France moves up just 1. Not enough. They need 1 more. Or they got to get a trade something something, which they could do with another. They could do here. So the way the trade thing works is you could go along edges. So this is 1, 2 edges. That's within walking distance. So see how it says 1 to 2? It's edges. So you can pick any corner of where you're at and then go 1 edge, 2 edge. Actually, 1 edge, 2 edge, because the city is actually there. So they can actually get a trade to this city, which will help them. And then this will also help later, but not now. Yeah, they got a lot to do. But by building the city, that's going to give them some points. And then also, cities at the end of the epoch is going to cost them food. But look, they get a reward. They're going to get a cube and a culture for having a city under their control. So that's very, very good for them. Now, obviously, you can't build a trade within your own city, but other players can try to build trades at your cities as well. And then that's where both of you get a gold if you approve it. All right, so not a bad turn for France. And now let's move on to Egypt again. So we're getting down to the final 2 turns. Egypt's getting another card. I'm going to draw. They drew the Chariot Archer. So Ballista's gone. Chariot Archer and the Chariot. I mean, those 2 go together really nicely. Probably ideal for somebody like Egypt, although look at that. See, they have a 0, but look, if they're defending, they get an extra die. That's a defense bonus. And then they get another bonus for those as well. And I forgot to mention, everybody gets a defense bonus already. If you're defending, you get a bonus. That's a natural part of the game. Actually, I'm surprised that they don't have it printed on the board. Unless somehow you could lose that. Or maybe I got that wrong. I thought for sure I saw that somewhere. That the defender always gets, yeah, right here, +1 from the defender or protector of the neutral city. Okay, that's if you're, for any war against a player, yeah, if you're a defender, you get +1. Always. If it's a war against a player. I guess technically the barbarians can attack. No, the barbarians just steal gold. So yeah, you should always. This is always. That should be printed. Anyways, neither here nor there. They still have one more invention they need to do. I need to think about this. Yeah, we want to do pottery. I remember now, and this is going to move this up by 2, which is really huge on the bonus track. But the reason was is we wanted another production. So they are going to get a production, and they give one to England, which they gratefully take. Okay, so they're fully expanded. They do have the ability to put possible trade down, but neither of those are the priority. Their priority is they want to build a wonder, and there's 3. Um, they could get a 4th. I can show you how in a second. This one is if they build a city, it costs 1 less. The other thing they could do is they could build a city as well. But I'm sort of thinking like, okay, the city gives you this bonus here, but so does the the wonder, and the wonder also gives you a lingering bonus, whereas the city does not. And also, uh, where was I going with the thought? Oh, the city costs you food, and this does not cost you food. Don't need the statue of Zeus. Um, Petra could be nice. You do get the nice 2. This one's juicy. It's 6 though. They're not on desert at the moment. I mean, they have the ability to be on some desert, not like France. I mean, look at this. This is like desert central over there. They can be on 2. Um, it's going to cost 6 production, which they don't have. They have 3, and the reason I told you they could get a 4th is we can spend our other token here and take this one. This is all wonders are going to be -1 cost. And if that's the way we want to go, because we want to become the culture monger, right? That actually might be the right thing to do. I know this is endgame scoring, but it's, I don't know. This is probably the one thing I should have played better. But it is what it is. So if I do that, that now lets me have this count as 4. It's still not enough to build the pyramids. I guess I could build Petra. Then I don't have to spend that cube. This one gives me a cube. But see, I don't have 5. I only have 4. You know what? We're just gonna spend 3. We don't have to do this yet. And now I could do that and still only spend 2. The Petra's not as useful as the other ones, but it's the only one we can really afford. So we're going to go ahead and do Petra. Now I got to just decide, do I want this bonus for the rest of the game or not? It's really the difference of, do I want to spend 2 right now or do I want to spend all 3 production? I can get another trade node out. Let's think about this. I'm here, I'm there. This one is over the sea, which costs 2. Because they don't have the over the sea bonus like England does. How would I get the second production? I could produce here. I can improve my government. Oh, yeah. Why wouldn't I do that? Oh, the maximum distance of a land route is +3. So remember I told you it was two sides? Look at this. I can pick that corner. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, because I get a +3. So Petra actually helps me to do it for just one production. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and... This might cost me the game, because I'm not going to get the extra points for the paintings. But we're going to just spend 2 production instead of 3. And we gain Petra, which gives us 2 culture right away. That bumps them up to 3. And we're going to change our government because we're over 2 culture. But that's a later action. We only get 1 action this turn. And then we have no combat to do. So our turn's over. Okay, we're moving to England. I get their card. What happened to the deck? We're out of cards. So does that mean we just shuffle these and reuse them? I guess we do. I don't know what else. I mean, it sort of makes sense because early in the game, having some of these disappear is actually um, sad. All right, we'll go ahead and draw again. So Terracotta Army is back again. So this is 20 cards. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Sort of hard to count. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We actually had 21 cards. That's only 20, and that's 13, and that's 8. Alright, let me check. Okay, I'm back. Everything I read in the rules indicates that there should just be more cards. So I think that this is an incomplete set of assets. And here, you can come to the beginning. They give you a count for everything. So there's 86 market cards. So this is very misleading, right? Because it's just all of them. And if there's a 4-player game and you're playing 6 rounds, you need 24 cards. But remember, some of them actually get seated on the market board before the game starts. So you have like 3 of, well, I think you draw like 5 cards. So you need even more than 24. You need like 29, right? Just for Era 1. And you need just as many for Era 2 and Era 3. So let's assume it's 24, even though I know for a fact you need more than 24 to start the game. But you only need, I guess, 24 for the rest of the game. 24, 48, 96. 96 is way more than the 86 you see here. So you're going to run out in a 4-player game because every player draws one. And you can see that it says on your turn you deal 1 card to the market. It doesn't say what happens if the market is empty. It says what happens if there's an empty space on the market itself, but it doesn't say what happens when the market card deck is empty. And I mean, there's no other comments to it. I don't know. Maybe you just get to a point where you just don't draw cards anymore. What a weird thing. But just simple math alone tells you that you need more overall cards. Now, when the epoch ends, I call it epic. I apologize, but when it ends, you set up a new one. And so you set up your basic units, which is, that I got covered. And then when setting up Epoch 2, shuffle the 2 market cards and place them on the drawing board. And then the 3 is the 3 and the 3 plus. Um, the 3 plus are like uber ones, and they go at the bottom of the deck. That's all this is trying to say. But if you look at the 2 deck and the 3 and the 3 plus, it's definitely not enough for 24 turns. So, you know, yeah, you discard all the old market cards that are not yet put into the market, if any. Um, so that's interesting. So it does say that there. I mean, I guess if the deck runs out, you're just supposed to keep playing. And so I was reshuffling the deck, but I think these are out of the game. So we're just going to play with those out of the game and nothing. So this is it. This is the final market. Very interesting. Hmm. I wonder if there's like a going to be a change in the final product. But okay, whose turn was it? Is the bigger question. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only one turn left for him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 turns left for him. So it's England's turn. Okay. England did all 3. We're going to just discard something and get 2 actions. England has hardly any resources, but they have 4 gold, which are wilds. And what does England want to do? We do want to defeat them, which means we finally got our hoplite. We just had bad rolling last time. We got our 2 trades out. If we can get here, we can do another trade there. We can expand. We have 1 food. We do have 2 cubes of expansion. If one of those is for the barbarian, we could expand into there, which, yes, we definitely want to do that as one of our actions. So first action, we're going to expand. And we're going to get this cube. And this is a perfect doohickey. So now we get +2, which we very much need to push that up. So well done. The next thing that we do is I forgot to see here. See, this is 2 cities. So England actually unlocked a second city. Next thing we want to do is we do want to beat the barbarians. I only have 1 research. I don't think there's anything here worth getting. Well, there's the chariot if we have. Well, I don't want to replace right here the chariot archer, or even the slinger. Right? If you have a mountain, it only costs 1 research. No, no. We want to spend the research. We built this wonder and we never used it. Let's do a science. This is the first time in the game we're doing this. So we spend 1 research and we get to either take this one or this one. But because of our bonus, we get to take this one or this one instead. So I may actually want the 3 food, come to think of it. I'll take the production in gold. So we move this up because you did a science, and we'll take a production and a gold. So 1 production and 1 gold. And that's our 2 actions. And that action, by the way, was the science action here. And the reason we got to go up 1 was because we could take higher rewards. Okay, these guys. So I guess we're not updating the market anymore. We're going to go ahead and discard and get 2 actions. Man, what do they want to do? They want to expand. So for 1 food, we're going to expand, and they want to expand here and get this, which is, that's really cool. We're actually going to have them keep this, so that way we remember we have it. And what that does is that lets their box go up by 1 more, like so. Their issue is they don't have any demand. They got supply, they don't have demand. Um, okay, so that was one action, the expand. We could expand again, but there's no cubes. Now I could remove a cube somewhere to do the expand again. Um, I just don't see where it'll help me. We're already next to a barbarian, which is not good. Um, yeah. Now we could build our own city and say screw it and trying to win the city against these guys. But I think I wanted to do the Statue of Zeus thing. Yeah, I did. I wanted to get a production. That's what it was. I didn't want to expand yet. Dang it. Alright, we'll spend another action to do another production. That's okay. Because for this round, we're going to attack that barbarian right there. And we rolled a 1. We didn't even need to roll. The barbarian's just killed. Now, the barbarian's still gold. And they don't have any gold, so maybe the barbarian really wasn't a threat, but we're going to just kill it anyways. There's only room in this town for one barbarian, pal. Alright, and then we'll do the Zeus next time, unfortunately. Okay, moving on. Market to here. I mean, see, because if you look at this, there's 10 more of these cards. So we got 4 more going out, and then there's going to be 6 left, and 4 are going to go here. Like, they got plenty of cards for a 4-player game there. Yeah, I think the market cards are supposed to go empty. That's very interesting. Okay, France. Going to discard something. Get 2 actions. France is fully expanded. They need to just work on things. Yes, we decided that this was 2 away so they could produce. They just have to spend 1 for that. I could put out a trade here. And that gives them 2 demand. France has no culture. What's their next action going to be? They could... No, they already built a city. They need food to supply the city. They got that. They can't do research. They have no science. They can't upgrade because they have no research. They can't expand. Wow. They're really... I mean, we could produce... Oh, there's another city nearby. Yeah, they're going to do another one. So they'll spend 1 more production. Put out another trade node. And they'll do it at this location. I like that. I really do. And that puts them up to 5. Yeah, so 2 actions. And then now they're going to roll to try to defeat that barbarian. And they do. Doesn't hurt them as much because they don't have any gold, but we'll remember everything converts into gold at the end of the round, so they would lose 1 of those gold. Okay, grab one of these invention cards. This is the final round of the game, so we're going to go ahead and discard the writing to get 2 actions. This is Egypt. So Egypt, whatever you're going to do, now's the time to do it. They've expanded everything. They're doing fantastic here. They want to increase their government. That's what it was. And which one do they want to take? This one helps their culture, so they're going to go ahead and do that one. That lets them get a second city. And they gain 2 Um, culture puts them up to 5. And then here you can see their science costs 1 less. So for their second action, they're going to do a science action. Because I don't think they want to do anything else. Maybe they could do a trade. Let's think about this. They got a trade there, a trade there. They could do this one. They're going to do the science one first. So let's do. The science is free right now. See, it only costs 1. And then after this moves up, it's going to cost 2. So that's why they want to do the science now. And then they could take a culture or 1 and 1. Now, as much as I know they want to be the culture leaders in the game, they have more than enough to get the artwork for this round. So they don't have to be first. So if they want to, this actually might be more valuable because they're going to get 2 resources. So they're going to take the production in gold. Like so. And then they're going to, there's nobody to attack, so they're done. Okay, England, final round. I'm not even paying attention to what I cover up. Doesn't matter. England discarded their card. They're getting 2 actions. They still got to defeat that jerk. I think they want to build a city. If they can. They have 2 production, but they can spend 1 of their gold, and they will. They have no food. So, but they are going to build a city. That is, I think, a priority for them. So, city is done. Very finicky here. I think once they get where they're supposed to be, you need to lock them down. Alright. We're just going to lay that, call it a day. Actually, the fact that that's laying down is perfect. That's what I've always wanted. Alright, so we built the city here. We got the 2 trades out. The city does give them 1. It's that they're lacking. And I'm just remembering, did France... France has the city, which is 1. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So that was 1 action. We built the city. Second action, we don't want to do research because we don't want to spend gold. We could produce, which would give us 2. Yeah, that gives us 2 research if we produce. I don't think there's anything else we can do. Like I said, I don't want to spend the gold. I'm just looking at my options here. Yeah, we produce. We definitely can't increase our government. We're going to produce. And the produce, for us, produces 2 research. And that'll help us because next... Or no, that was the final turn. I was going to say we could have done another one of these, but because we built the city, yeah, that's it. So that's fine. Produce is all we could do. I'm okay with that. This is the big one. They got to defeat the, or they're going to lose a gold. They fail again. They just needed a 1. Oh, where did it go? I know where it is. Sorry. Right there. Okay, that didn't, I know they could have possibly gone here, but that's okay. They didn't need more. There. Alright, their turn's over. Mongolia. Two actions for them. They want to attack something. Okay, so here's a rule that hasn't been covered yet. If they try to attack this city, even though it's neutral, France is allowed to interject their armies to protect that city. Now, you don't add the two together. It's either they defend at a value of 7 or they defend at a value that France uses. Right now, the city is actually more powerful than France, so they really don't get a say in the matter. But just letting you know, oh, excuse me, that's the way that works. And then, of course, oh man, is it true I never took the iron? That's crazy. I may want to take the iron. Like, move this here. So, anyways, where I was going is I want to take the iron because then that lets me build a city. I can't, if I can't take a city, I might as well build one. And this is less helpful. So when I expanded here, I should have plucked this for the 2 food. And then, because right now I'm out of cubes, and I don't think you can just pick up a cube and move it. Um, Although it does say you can, I mean, so if I do an expand, see, this is where losing these 2 cubes is hurting me right now. All right, so we got 2 actions. What are we doing? We have a mountain of food, but we get to keep all the food. The production, that's right. We're doing 4 production because we're getting the statue of Zeus. Let's not forget our priorities, folks. 4 production, statue of Zeus, here we come. Bam. All right, so -1 to our punishment. Look at that. We get 2 cubes. Get 2 cubes and 1 culture. So they now have more culture than France does. All right, so then for the second action, now that we got 2 cubes, we can expand. And one of our expansions, we're going to go right here on the iron. And that causes this to move up. Yeah, we don't have any production. I was going to say we could build trade, right? One of these spots. But then we wouldn't have been able to build Zeus. And then we'll do our other expansion. And right now I don't know where it should go. Here, let's start threatening Egypt. Well, we could start threatening France too, because they got a nice juicy resource there. We'll go ahead and threaten Egypt. Yeah, the expansion is not that helpful. I mean, we lose a food, and then we're going to lose another food for our army. So I'm just going to take 2 food away for that. And then let's go ahead and attack this city here. And with only 1 roll, we sort of need a miracle. We're at 5. We got to get to 8. Ooh, I was almost there. So we failed. The warmonger penalty won't hurt us, which is fine, even though we gain nothing for being a warmonger. I'm just trying to make sure that that's what I really wanted to do. I could have gained a production. That doesn't do me any good. We can't. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And I believe, oh no, we got France. They're the last player. So they get their final card. They play their final card. They get 2 actions. So here you can see all their cubes are gone. They have real high demand. They need to improve that, which they can't because they need more cubes. Now maybe they can get more cubes. For example, they get 4 more cubes if you went to the Republic. Did I remember to do that here? They really have 8 cubes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh man, that's a big mistake if I forgot to do that. So you get 2 cubes for this. You start the game with 4. That's 6. You get 4 more for 10. There's 8, and there's 9 and 10. Okay, yeah, we did it right. Okay, getting back to France. They can't expand, which is what they want to do. If they get this, that would have helped move this up, which they also can't do. They're a chiefdom. They have no ability to build a wonder. They really can't do anything. They can just collect 2 food and that's it. I mean, they do have 1 production, so could they? They connected there already. They connected there already. Wow. They have a city. They don't have enough to increase their government. They can't produce. They can't increase. Yeah, they're just going to gain 2 food. And that's it. Pretty wild. Alright, that brings us to the end of the epoch. Okay, so what happens at the end? Um, Works of art are granted to, in a 4-player game on Epoch 1, the top 3 players. Which, believe it or not, is France is left out. So, 1 work of art to Egypt, or to, um, I don't know where you store them per se. We're going to go ahead and store them over here. So they get 1. England gets 1. And I guess you could store them. Same place you store everything else. And of course Egypt gets 1, which was their goal. Alright, that's the first thing that happens. Gain trading income. Okay, so what that is you take the lowest here, and so they get 2 gold and 1 culture. So 2 gold. We better separate those, or otherwise. Come on. 2 gold and then 1 culture. And then red. Gonna get 1 gold and 1 culture. And then green gets nothing. And France is going to get 1 gold. They don't even get culture from that. Oh, that cracks me up. Okay, next. Food consumption. So if you have a city, you have to spend a food, but you're going to gain a culture and a cube. So no cities for... So the only people who have cities are blue and red. So England and France. So France has the food, easy. And they get their first culture, yay! And they get a cube, which they really wanted. So now they got a cube. Alright, and then England also has 1. They can spend a gold for a food. That's not a problem. So they do that, and they get a culture. Culture maniac right now, and they also gain a cube. Now, the barbarians are going to attack at some point. Convert all resources to 1 gold, 3-to-1 ratio. I don't think anybody took the thing that made it 2-to-1. That would be one of these. So these just get lost. Makes me sad. This, they get to keep all their food because of the food preservation, so nothing converts. Come around to here. They don't have food, so they're gonna basically they get 1 gold. 1 gold for France. And then they don't have preservation either. And they're going to get 1 gold. And it looks like I accidentally took 1 as a production. Better I put the gold in the wrong spot. Okay. Next. Each barbarian steals 1. The only barbarian that can steal is this one. All others were defeated. So England loses 1 gold. Restore consumed people. I think that means we get 4. Or no. That means these two go back. So yeah, they get their 2 cubes back. Return the marker and take the penalty. So no penalty for them. They're fine. But return the marker. And then set up the next epoch. And of course they show pictures. And we may have to look at the rulebook for that. So this is where we discard all the market cards that are not yet put into the market. So the stuff that's already in the market stays there. And then we set up the basic units, create the market deck, set up invention market, which we will do in a second. And if you have any consumed to convert resources within the epoch, return them. Wow, you don't get new cubes? I thought you got new cubes. I thought you got like 4 new ones. Just like you started the game with 4. Wow, if that's the case, that hurts. Yeah, there's nothing in here that says you get new cubes. Ah, hold on. Maybe there's start new epoch. Is there a section for that? No, we're back to setup. There's set up the new. A player on the left of the previous first player becomes the first player of the new epoch. So yeah, that means they're going to go last. Okay, that balances it out. Although the start was where it all mattered. Yeah, wow. So you got to figure out how to add more cubes, or otherwise you're screwed. Okay, so obviously this symbol here gives you the new cubes, right? And then the middle path gives you the new cubes. This left path gets you a painting, which is why I went down that path with at least the one nation, Egypt. But yeah, it makes these 2 pathways a little more attractive because look, you get 3 cubes here. You don't get any cubes if you go that way. Yeah, that's a very different game, but you do get the culture, which I do confess is something. But wow, I'm sure it's balanced. I know they play it, the crap out of this, but um, that's where it gets even more interesting now. Is okay, I got less cubes, so um, it does make it harder for people to find you and attack you, I guess. Okay, so we have to set up the market, and then the video will end. So if you guys are getting bored, um, just understand you can probably quit. But I'm just going to show you how to set up these final deck of cards. Basically, these are the era 2, which we've been, drawing for all the players. So what we do is we draw 4. and the rest are out of the game. So we just put those in a discard, and then these come in as these are the next era, right? So these are the ones that people are going to draw for Epoch 3, and then these cards go here for the 2, and then for the 3, they have these as separate decks. All it's saying is you got to shuffle these, and then shuffle these separately, and then these just go on top. And you just got to remember not to shuffle again, which I hope I remember. Maybe I shouldn't have done that yet, but in fact, let's do that. 1, 2, 3. Painful, I know. But, these stay in. These go away. Just gonna toss them up here. And then the Era 2 ones come out. So the pikemen, for example, are the basic unit, and then the crossbowmen. So these are available at all times for everybody to take. Both of these are defensive units. That one, of course, takes a production. And then these are the Era 3 guys, just to give you a sneak peek. So you got the riflemen and the mortar. So you're getting into World War I level stuff there. Okay, that's everything you need to get ready for the next epoch. The start player is not going to be Egypt this time. It's going to be England. I don't know, do they even have a start player marker? I'm sure the real game will. Yeah, actually, they're supposed to. It's the hourglass. That's the start player marker. And just not in this, I guess. But I'm having fun. I'm very intrigued. It's I'm realizing it was really difficult to try to take a city in the first epoch. It would have been better served for them to build a city than try to take one. Taking one is the same as building one, except you don't have to spend the resources, of course. And then you get to kick out all the other trade nodes. Beyond that, it's more or less the same. And yeah, pretty cool game so far. That was almost 3 hours to go through one epoch. Now that was with me playing all sides and doing some teaching. But I'm telling you, if you got certain people in your gaming group that are analysis paralysis, this is going to be a brutally long game. I do think, though, like if everybody's thinking about what they want to do, instead of waiting until it's their turn to say, oh, let me start thinking now, like I was doing, I do think it would go quicker. And then, of course, if I'm talking less and doing, just getting anybody to help, instead of me having to remember everything, not so bad. So anyways, thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome. Epoch 2 right around the corner, but not tonight. Gonna hit the hay. Talk to you later.